Welcome back to another episode of Open RCT2 Tutorials. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a ride I like to call the Scorpion's Tail. Now this is a coaster I invented that uses a reverse launch and some vertical boosters to create a fun and exciting ride experience that you don't really see in the game. So it's pretty simple to build. So to get started, basically I like to start with the cheats. We need to turn on the enable all drawable track pieces, allow chain lifts on all track pieces, show all operating modes, unlock operating limits, and then allow arbitrary ride type changes and show vehicles from other track types. Now I like to start with the Giga Coaster, although you could probably use the LSM launch coaster, but here with the Giga Coaster, I'm going to build a 2-tile station and then add the entrance and exit buildings here. And then moving forward, we're going to go to a booster piece, and I'm just going to set it as high as it can go. And then we're going to do a flat to steep piece into vertical, then 5 vertical track pieces. And then on the top, we're going to add a quarter loop. Once we have the quarter loop in, we're going to go back to the station and go backwards, and we're going to do a flat to steep piece, and then we're going to go into a vertical and then quarter loop. And then for one more quarter loop piece, we're actually going to turn on the chain lift button right here. So with the chain lift turned on, we'll build that last piece, and that is our ride layout. Now looking at the ride vehicles, I'm going to set it to the modern twister trains. Now these came with one of the latest releases of the game, so you might need to download the latest version if you don't have it. And we're going to select the reverse train button. And then moving to the operating mode, we're going to set it to the powered launch passing station mode. And then I want to set the launch speed to 42 miles per hour. And we want the number of circuits to be 2. And the lift chain speed I'm going to set to 26 miles per hour. And with all of those set, we can now test our ride and we can see what happens. So it's not really technically doing a reverse launch. It's launching forward, but the trains are reversed. So it appears like a reverse launch, but it's not going up the tower like we want. So what we need to do is add the vertical boosters. So I'm just going to color the track pieces that need to have these added. And if you want to know more about how to add vertical boosters, I did a whole tutorial video on how they work. So if you want to learn more, that tutorial is linked in the video description. But basically I want to select these track pieces, the number 4 and number 3, I guess, if you're counting the 5 vertical track pieces. I'm going to color them right here so we can better see them. So these 2 pieces, we're going to actually add a chain lift on them. So I'm going to open the tile inspector here, and we need to select them. So you can either find the tile here and then move up in the tile inspector and make sure we select the correct ones, or if you hold the control key while you click, it should select those track pieces as well. So basically, when you look at a vertical track piece, it's actually occupying 2 tiles at the same time. So if I move here in the construction window, as you see here, I'm occupying these track pieces, but when we get to the vertical ones, they're occupying 2 tiles. So if you click on this tile, I'm selecting them, but none of the track pieces are showing up. So one of those tiles shows invisible track basically, so you can't see it. So what we have to do is actually just in the tile inspector select this track piece on that one tile. So we're selecting these track pieces here, and we are going to manually turn on the chain lift by clicking that box there. So I'm going to do that for the other piece here. So that is at base height 44. Turn the chain lift on, and you can double check if I click on this tile and go to base height 40 and 44, it's not showing the chain lift turned on. So we were only turning on the chain lift for that one tile that the vertical pieces occupy. So I hope that makes sense. But with the ride and test mode, you can see that those vertical boosters push the train right up the tower, and then the chain lift on that final quarter loop piece actually pushes the train backwards so it doesn't crash. So here it goes again, the vertical boosters push it up the tower, it's going to fall backwards. And then here it's going to get into the fish hook, and the quarter loop chain lift is pushing it backwards towards the station. And now with a little bit of scenery, we have our finished ride. So here it is with some peeps on it, and it is quite fun to watch, I think, and watching it almost crash and then get pulled backwards and then launch up that tower. And it's just a fun little creation I came up with, and I just thought it was fun to share with you all, and it's pretty easy to build. And if we look at the stats, we can actually see it's pretty decent with the Giga Coaster. So nice stats there, and you can actually save the track design if you want, but before you do, you want to turn off these chain lift pieces here. So turn them off, otherwise when you save the track, the chain lift will be on both the invisible and the regular, like the 2-tile piece, so it will get all messed up. So anyways, it's easier just to build it this way with those turned off. So once the ride is there, we can reverse the trains, make sure it's set to powered launch passing station, 42 mile per hour, 26 chain lift, 2 circuits, and then we'll test it, and you can see the chain lift isn't there because we had turned it off to save the track design. So I'll open up the tile inspector and we'll just select these and turn the chain lift on, and it's going to add those vertical boosters. And that should be it for the ride. So there, it's going to boost it up, and it's working just as it should. And as it goes to the fish hook, it should have that chain lift already saved with the track. Yep. And if you look at the stats, because I tested it before we added the boosters, the stats are pretty low, so you could just change the chain lift speed for a moment and then change it back, and it will recalculate the stats. Now if you want to download this track, I've linked it in the video description, as well as the tutorial for the vertical boosters if you want to learn how they work. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider becoming a YouTube or Patreon member, where you will receive early access to all of my latest videos and other benefits. And check out my Roller Coaster Tycoon swag shop for some fun merch linked in the video description. And as always, make sure to subscribe, because next time I'm going to show you how to build your own 7 Dwarfs mine train. So stay tuned for more.